Hey guys, Nick here with an upgrade for my 3D printer. This is from E3D. This is their Volcano hot end, which includes the Volcano heater block, which is different from their V6 hot end in that it sits vertically rather than horizontally like this. And that allows you to use these nozzles with a lot more surface area for transferring heat from the heater block to the nozzle. It also allows for a much longer melt distance. And what that does is it reduces extrusion pressure. It allows you to print much faster and with much larger diameters. It actually comes with a 0.6 millimeter nozzle. I also got a 0.4 millimeter nozzle and a 1 millimeter nozzle that I'm pretty eager to try out. So anyway, we're going to put this thing together and install it on the printer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the heater block, and this way with the notch is up. I'm going to install a nozzle. I'm first going to go with the 1 millimeter. What you're going to do is just thread it into the heater block all the way, and then loosen it up a half a turn. Now we're going to take the heat break and thread it into the top of the heater block and butt it up against the nozzle. Next we're going to install the thermistor, which goes into this small hole right here. And we need an M3 grub screw. So here's one. And it comes with a couple Allen wrenches. So M3 grub screw right here to secure the thermistor into its slot. Now you're supposed to just snug it up a little bit and then go like a quarter turn just to make sure that it's really in there. You don't want to crush the thermistor at all because it's got a relatively soft body. So now let's install the heating element. That goes into this slot. And we need 2 bolts to secure it. So that's these 2, I believe they're M3. And it requires the larger Allen wrench. And the way this heat block is constructed is kind of a pretty cool design. It just clamps down on the heater cartridge. I know in the past, or some of the E3D clones, they have like a grub screw holding it in that doesn't have as much thermal contact, but this is very well designed. These wires are going to have to bend to the side a little bit because the next step will be to smear some thermal compound on the threads of the heat break. And you just want a nice uniform coating over the threads. Not too much. Alright, now that the heat break threads are covered in thermal compound, we need to thread the heat sink onto it. And you don't want to go too tight, you just want to hand tighten it. Just like that. Now when I first got this, I looked at the top here and I noticed that it wasn't threaded, which would have been a problem because I need to put some sort of a tube fitting into there to fit my PTFE tubing because I don't have a direct drive extruder. However, the hot end also came with this little clip. And what they've done is they've just integrated the tubing adapter into the aluminum heatsink, which is pretty cool. So that just snaps into place there. And you need to take your PTFE tubing and slide it in and keep sliding it in because this actually pushes all the way in to the end of the heat break, which actually has a recess and it fits into there. So that way your filament path has that nice smooth tubing all the way to your heat break before it goes into the nozzle. So once that tubing is inserted there, you can take this little blue clip and slide it under the black plastic piece that you just put in there. And what that does is it stops that clip from unlocking and releasing the tubing. Okay, the next step would be to install the fan onto the fan holder. And we're going to use 4 Phillips screws for that. Now, it did not come with a Phillips screwdriver, but I'm sure most everybody has a small Phillips screwdriver that they can use for this. Okay, with the fan installed onto the fan mount, it can be clipped onto the heatsink like that. And now finally, we have this extrusion block sock, and this this part that sticks out on the back here goes over the screws. It fits just like that. And what this sock will do is it'll insulate the block a little bit to allow it to heat up faster, but it'll also prevent stray filament from sticking to the hot block. So that's the assembled E3D Volcano hot end. The next step is to install it on the machine. So I installed the Volcano into my FLSun Cube 3D printer. I didn't film it, but the process for installing it into your 3D printer is going to be different per printer anyways. I'm printing at, this is the 1mm nozzle, and I'm printing at 0.75 millimeter layer height. 0.8 layer height was pushing it a little bit too much, and actually my extruder just could not keep up with it. I'm printing at, I believe, 30 millimeters per second for inner layers and infill. Outer layers is 15 millimeters per second, I think, which seems very slow, but again, my extruder just could not keep up. Using the direct drive extruder that came with the FLSun printer, so maybe an extruder upgrade might be next on the list. However, printing slowly does seem to be working pretty well. It's able to keep up just fine at this speed, and it's still significantly faster printing than a smaller nozzle, even though it doesn't seem like it, just because the layer heights are so big compared to what I would usually use with like a 0.4 or 0.6 millimeter nozzle. So this is the finished product of the giant imposter printed with the E3D Volcano, and as you can see, the sides look pretty good, pretty uniform layers, and none of the layer lines are sticking out. On the sides here, like these dots in a row here with the fading line, that's where the layer either began or ended, I'm not sure. Obviously, if you reduce the layer height a little bit, it's going to be less noticeable. On the top there, you can see where it either under extruded and didn't stick to the previous layer, or that might just be from a lack of support. I think, obviously I have some settings to play around with, but I think just maybe increasing the infill percentage would help a little bit, or even going with like 2 top and bottom layers rather than just the single layer. But overall, this print took maybe 3 hours, and again, this is the 0.75 millimeter layer height with the 1 millimeter nozzle.